Getting kids involved in gardening is such a great thing. So when we can do it indoors at this time of the year, it's fantastic. Guys, I am passionate about plants. I think they're the coolest thing in the entire world. So if you guys look outside during the summer months, you're gonna see a tree, and that tree provides oxygen for us, it provides a home for a bird. And then, have you ever been outside when it's really, 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 really hot, and you go underneath the tree and it makes you feel cool? Yeah, that's kind of good. Hey, Davide, you look at your shirt that you have on right now, that's made from cotton. And so if you think of that, that came from a plant. Did you wash your hair this week? Yeah, maybe in that shampoo there was aloe vera, and that means that came from a plant as well. Anybody here like cereal? Yeah, me too. So they all came from plants. So if you think about it, pretty cool. So do you guys want to grow some plants? Okay, so in order for us to grow plants, and when you want to do a little craft like this, first thing that we're going to need, of course, is something to hold a plant in. So what we've done today is we've taken these jugs, and these are juice jugs, and we've made them into a container. So anything that can hold soil can become a container. And in order to grow something, you need a container. Do you know that I could take my shoe off right now and plant it up and it'd become a container? But I gotta leave here, so that means I need my shoes. What do you guys think? Should I plant my shoes up one day? Should I plant my shoes up? Nah. So we need a container. We also need the right soil. So you take a look at that soil. And Olympia, if you want to put your hands in there and just see how it feels nice and soft. And is it heavy or light, would you say? Light, yeah. So that's a potting soil or a seed starting mix. It's really important that you have that type of mix when we're doing seeding because it's light. So that means it's going to be able to dry out. Has anybody here ever sat in a tub for 24 hours? No, neither have I. Neither have I. If you sat in a tub for a very long time or been in a pool for a very long time.
What happens?
What happens?
All wrinkly?
Right, so that's why you need a lighter soil, because if we had a heavy soil and a plant sat there for so long, it's their feet, their roots are their feet, it's sitting in the soil, and they would get wrinkly and rot and they would die. So we need a container, we need the right soil, which is potting soil. See the little white things that are in there? Those are called perlite, and what helps with perlite is it actually helps with drainage. So to get the water away, because the plant wants to be wet but then wants to be dry. So we got soil, we got a container, and now we're going to do some seeds. So I'm just going to open up the pack here of bean seeds. You guys eat beans? Anybody eat beans? Yeah, I love beans in the summer. I love beans in the spring. I love beans in the winter. I love beans in the summer. I just like beans all the time. Good source of protein for you as well. So if you look at a bean seed, pretty cool, eh? You can see that they're pretty white. If you think of that seed that's right there, that is an entire storage facility for a plant. So inside there, it's almost like a helmet around a plant. Inside there has all the elements to grow a bean. Anybody ever hear the story Jack and the Beanstalk? Yeah, me too, me too. So there's two different types of beans. There's a bean that will grow short, kind of like me, vertically challenged, I like to call it. And then there's beans that will be a pole bean and grow tall like Jack and the Beanstalk. So what we're going to do today is we're going to plant a bean, or you guys get the choice of using some flowers like marigolds and nasturtiums, or even radishes, and we're going to use the container. I want to show people at home what we're doing here by keeping the jug, and we've just cut it off here with a little bit of an X-Acto knife. The reason why we've done that, why do you guys think we would do that?
So you can put the dirt in.
Put the dirt inside, but why would I want to cover it up?
Why does it need a lid?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So has anybody here ever been in a greenhouse? Yeah, my first home that I lived at was attached to a greenhouse. That was my backyard. So if you look, when you're starting seeds, and this is what you would buy at a garden center, a seed starting tray. And with a seed starting tray, you'll always notice that they have a cover. The cover goes over the top, just like this. And the reason why is once you put the seeds in, you want to make sure that you trap all that humidity, you trap all that moisture. You make sure that they're nice and hot, warm, and almost tucked into bed. And by doing that, they're going to germinate, which means they wake up and they start to grow. So what we've done is this over here, usually costs about $10. We've saved some money. So first step that I want you guys to do, you guys want to get dirty? Okay, so what I want you guys to do is to fill your containers. We're each going to get a container, and we can help you as well. We're going to fill that container up. I'll hold it like that for you, and each of us can take a scoop in there and put a little bit of soil.
With Elise. Do you want a scoop?
Elise, there you go. And it's okay if we spill some dirt. The whole thing about doing kids gardening too is just letting kids have some fun. It's amazing how many kids have never touched the soil,
Yeah.
which is really kind of sad.
How much do you put in the container?
We're going to fill it right up. We're going to fill it right up there.
And And that leaves lots of room for the roots, right?
Right. And the neat thing about using these jugs is that as the plants grow, kids will be able to see the roots. And to me, roots tell a story about a plant. And what roots have is that they're the feet for a plant. And you know as well, that's where a plant breathes from and also drinks.
Good job.
There you
When
go.
should we start these plants in the spring?
Well, right now you can start some things indoors like tomatoes and peppers and things like that. It depends. If you're just doing some sprouts where kids can have some fun and they can eat the sprouts after, you can do things like radishes at this time of year, and you can even grow some lettuce and things like that in. But some of the other plants, what's really important is when you look to the back of the seed pack, it'll often tell you 4 to 6 weeks before last frost date, and I know people are watching us all across Canada.
Yeah.
So they go to their last frost date, they count back 4 to 6 weeks, and that's when they
Where
start.
can they find that frost date? Online?
Oh, right on the right on the
okay.
back of the package.
But when do you know?
Your frost date in your
Yeah,
area, you
yeah.
can go right online, no
Yeah.
problem whatsoever. And most people in the
Internet
world-
knows, right?
Yeah, most people go Victoria Day weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually what they're going to count back from across them. And you know, it depends. If you're watching us in Halifax for today, you know, it could be a little bit later, meaning, you know, first week of June, mid-May, and then count back.
Great.
How do you guys like playing in the dirt?
It's fun.
Yeah?
Okay, should we pass the bowl over here?
Pass it over. So, you know, like, really when you're doing gardening's like a little bit of a recipe, right? You have
Yeah.
your elements that you have there, you need to put everything together, and we're gonna make it work. So you got your soil in there, okay? Now what I want you to do is to pick which one you wanna grow. What do you wanna grow? Oh, you're gonna go with radishes.
Radishes, cool.
Radishes are like little jewels. When you pull them out of the soil, it's like, boom, they're gonna be there. Neat thing is, and this is a good tip for parents, radishes is a small seed. And so sometimes with smaller seeds, they're harder for kids to handle. But I got brought today is a seed tape. And this is kind of cool. Oh, actually, I didn't bring the seed tape. I brought just the seeds themselves. I thought this was the seed tape one. But you can see the seeds are a little bit smaller. Okay, so what you're gonna do is we're just gonna take a few of those seeds and you can just spread them across that soil that's there. And because they're radishes and they're little seeds, you don't have to put them too deep. It just needs a little bit of a dusting of soil that's gonna go on the cross. You can spread them out.
On the seed pack, when it says how far apart to plant them, do you have to be very rigid about following that? Like some beans might say 4 inches apart.
Once
but
they germinate,
Yeah.
once they come up, that's when you're
then
gonna do
that's
your
when you
thinning.
do that. Okay.
So in a container like this, we
Yeah.
probably only want to put 2 or 3 bean seeds.
Right.
That's all we would want. But with radishes, because we're going to use these as sprouts, here, I'll give you some more. With radishes, we're going to put a little bit more of coverage that's there.
Are you going to take this home, Elise, and watch them grow?
There we go.
Okay, Olympia, what seeds do you want to plant?
So we have, you want to do marigolds? Okay, you can put some more seeds. I don't want to put too many. Here, you know what I'll do for you? Is I'm going to put a little pile right there for you. Okay, so with marigolds, marigolds are a flower that also sometimes people felt that if they planted around their vegetable garden, that it would keep other things away because it's a flower that has a little bit of a pungent smell. So what's neat about this seed, you see how that seed's rounded? This one here is almost a little bit longer. This one here, and I'll put that down for you. Can you describe what that one is?
What do they look like? I think you can see.
Are they round?
No.
No. Are they flat?
No.
Are they a little bit long?
Yes.
Awesome. Do they almost look like a little bit of a baby feather?
Yes.
Yes. Amazing. So you're going to just take one. What I would like you to do is you're going to count 5 of them. You're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Marigolds are a really good seed for kids to work with because they are longer. They're easier to handle and things like that. So when you're selecting your seeds, you want to make sure, number 1, fast germination, because kids like immediate
Right,
results.
right.
Number 2, easy to handle. And then also if you can build a story around it.
Right.
How do you find out about the story? Sometimes you just look online.
Right,
There's great
right,
stories that you can find there. Okay, so you did 5 there. Now,
Cool.
your choice, sir.
Definitely.
Did you want
Let's
to
go.
do beans? Did you want to do nasturtiums? Did you want to do radishes? Did you want to do zinnias?
Beans.
Beans.
Okay. Did you want, I have 2 different types. Did you want green beans or yellow beans?
Green.
Green beans. Okay, awesome. And that's the big white seed. And you can see this is easy to handle. And here's a little tip for people that are gardening at home. If you ever want your beans to germinate faster, put them in water overnight. So I want you to take a look at that seed and I want you to squeeze the seed. Is it soft or hard?
Hard.
Right, so that's the reason why you wouldn't want to put it in water over the night. That would actually make that seed coating weaken down. The other thing you can do is take a nail file and file the seed, and it'll actually improve the germination. So you're going to put in that there, I put about 4 seeds. So I'll give you, you can take 4 out of my hand there. Okay.
And then with the bean seed, because they're sort of oblong, do you put them down in
A little bit
lengthwise?
deeper. So
Yeah.
generally, as a rule of thumb, doesn't matter whether it's a bulb or a seed. You okay there? Yeah, you good. You got a little bit, maybe a little dust that came. So if it's a bulb or a seed, usually it's whatever their size is,
Yeah.
3 times their height and depth. So if it's a little
Okay.
seed, it doesn't need anything.
Right, right.
But let's say you're doing a tulip bulb. A tulip bulb, you go 3 times. So if
Oh,
a tulip
that's a
bulb's
good
1
rule of
inch,
thumb, yeah.
you go 3 inches down.
Great.
So it's just
Great.
super easy. Okay, so you're just going to
Cool.
press those guys in a little bit. Okay, what we're going to do for your seeds right here, because we don't need a lot.
We've got a lot of radishes in this one.
We got a lot of rashes, but that's okay because what we're going to do
Probably
with the
30 or 40.
yeah, with what we're going to do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
The whole
It's
idea
amazing.
is when it comes to kids and gardening, what we want to do is inspire them. We want them to grow, and this is a living thing. And with living things, there's going to be success and failure. But with this here, she's just having a good time, and it's going to grow. And when it does grow, we can pick off those greens. And then what we can do is we can maybe plant some more of these in the garden and then see the full result of it
Right.
as well. So if you want to put a little bit of soil on top of those seeds, just a little bit of a dusting.
I'm just reading a viewer question
Yeah.
right now. It says, moving into a new house in April, should she wait to see that sprouts before planting? Excellent penmanship there. What does it say?
So if you're moving into a new house, and this is, and I kind of get the question, but I don't get the question.
Yeah,
Kind of like
yeah,
you,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
First thing, if you're moving into a new house, one thing that you want to do is pay attention to the light requirements that you have around your house.
Okay.
Reminder, if you're growing plants outdoors and you want to grow your own food, you need a lot of sun. You need at least 6 hours of sun. Once you get that down, then you can start to figure out what you want to grow. If you're starting seeds indoors, for people, if you have time, great. For new gardeners, I would say don't do seed starting first. Let's start you off with some plants, and then let's get you inspired by doing some seeds. Okay, we got enough in there now. You know how many radishes we got in there right now? We're going to open up a produce store, me and
Yes.
you. So what we're going to do
More
with
soil?
Elise, I'm going to give Elise a little bit of soil. And now what you guys can do is you can put some water. And with the water, I see that you have a misting bottle down there.
Yeah.
That might even be a
I
better
wasn't
solution.
sure.
Yeah.
So we've got a watering can, misting, and just straight water.
Yeah, just do the misting,
Yeah.
and they can just really, and put on a finer mist, and they're just going to
Yeah.
make the top
Let me
of that
just,
soil.
I'm going to test this right here.
Oh, you
as well.
put a little bit too much.
Oh
but
yeah,
that's
it's a good
okay.
mist.
It'll work.
Okay, so you can mist your plant.
There you go. We're good.
Now, is
we
there a
just gotta
fear of
water.
overwatering these? Or
No, not
let's
when they're
push 'em down
first.
a
When
bit.
you're first starting them
Okay.
out, there's all you want to do is you really do want to put a lot of moisture. The one thing that you got to pay attention to later on, though, is because there's no drainage
Yes.
in this, you want to allow it to dry out in between. But just by moistening that top layer till germination is perfect. So
Great.
you can put a little bit more. Be a little bit more gracious with the water there. So make sure that it's like you're almost going to make sure that the hair is soaked. So pretend that soil is like hair, and we want to soak that hair.
Are you having fun yet? Great job. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Now,
And because
Yeah,
you
we've
did
got some-
beans, you're going to write the word bean. What color of marker did you want to use?
we have these little chalk labels that I actually just picked up at the dollar store.
Okay, and then there's bean right on the top there, so you can just copy
Do you
what
want
that
to stick it
says.
onto your, right here? And
here,
then
let's-
these are little markers,
doing a good
washable
job.
markers that actually show up on black, but you can also just use chalk. I'll let you pick your color.
I'm just going to do this for you, just so that we got a
Blue?
little bit.
Do you know how to write
so
bean?
we're uncovered a bit.
There you go.
I'm just going to put a little bit of soil, and then you get to water next, okay?
Yeah, it washes, right? So you can redo it. There you go.
You're a professional, eh, Elise? You're a professional gardener, I think. There you go. Okay, I think we got enough now, okay? So we're going to hand that over to Olympia next. Very good. I'm just going to do the one little corner here for you. See right there? We'll put a little bit
Cool.
right there, right there, right there, right there, right there,
And then
we're
the
good.
last thing, so you want to keep the moisture in, right? So
Right.
we have some tape. You could tape it closed.
And the reason why you want to keep the moisture in, as soon as you see them appear and you see at least 2 to 3 leaves, that's when you want to open them back up. So the moisture, that's when you're creating the greenhouse effect. We always
Right,
hear about
right.
that as a bad thing in terms of the environment.
Yeah.
But in terms of gardening, when you're first growing, you're creating that greenhouse effect, which traps the You know, we know that water will rise when you get the evaporation. That attracts the evaporation, keeps the moisture that's right there.
So once we have the sprouts, do we just leave it open?
And then we just leave it
Yeah,
open.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want a label? Which label do you want?
There you go. Give me 5. Booyah! Amazing.
And are these marigolds that we planted?
Yeah, those are marigolds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the pack over here, and then you can.
You want to copy the letters?
So you see right there, Olympia, see that word right there, marigold? That's what you're going to try to write. It's a little bit, you know what you can do is maybe just call them Mary. Why don't we just call them Mary? So, and you can just do it with a M-A-R-I. We'll just do Mary.
I like that.
Okay? Because plants have
Okay.
personalities. We can name our plants.
R-I.
Perfect.
Mary,
Okay.
that's amazing. And then you're just going to close that up.
And we'll give one to Elise.
Elise.
Which one would you like?
Elise, you can call this whatever you want. We know the radishes, but if you want to give it a different name, what kind of name? What do we want? What do we want to call these guys? What do you think?
That one's stuck.
You can call them. You could even. You know what? If you look at a radish, and it looks red, we could almost call them cherry. If you want, because you know the variety is called cherry bell, or maybe we can call them bell.
Do you want to
Or
call
Bella.
them Bell?
Bella. You know what Bella stands for, don't you? Beautiful.
Let's do yellow just like your dress.
Okay. So we're gonna do a B.
Do you want me to help you?
Yeah,
There we
we
go.
can help you. We'll write it with you. So we're
Alright.
gonna do a B. E.
Just like Elise, right?
Yeah.
L, 2 L's.
And then we can put an A if we want for Bella. That's
Very
amazing. And then we're
nice.
just gonna tape that closed. And we got the tape that's right here.
Yep.
You can pick the color of tape that you want. Which one? Oh, that's cool.
Do you want some tape?
You want me to help you? And you can put the tape on. I'll just help peel it off for you.
So last Thursday, when I knew we were going to do this segment, I made one as well because I was kind of excited. So I'm going to just pull one out to show you what it looks like when it sprouts, okay?
There you go. Ready? Just gonna close that up.
So I planted radishes too. Take my tape off. Do you think there's anything in there?
Take a look what it's gonna look like. Elise, take a look. Look, look.
Awkward with a microphone. There we go. What do you
That's what's
think?
gonna happen. And what's neat, and we can do this right now, is if we wish, I'm just gonna take some of the greens right off the top here, because this is kind of cool. And you want to taste it? Okay.
I do.
You want to taste it? Okay, and you guys tell me what the flavor tastes like. There you go. Is it, you tell me, is there a little bit of peppery to it? Yeah. She's like,
No,
here,
thanks."
have it back. Because the radish, it actually, you know, we all know the flavor of a radish when we pull it out of the soil. You'll get that same flavor in the green. So if you want to add, you know, when it comes to sprouts, if you add that to a sandwich, and that's the neat thing with this for kids, you can either put those greens into the salad or into a sandwich or something like that. But it's
Yeah.
great when then all of a sudden they get to see the whole thing grow, and then they get to experience the taste of it.
Yeah, and really see where the food comes from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so these radishes, it's early in the season that we did these, so
Yeah.
that we wouldn't put these in the ground now, but we can totally eat them as radish sprouts, right?
100%. So
Yeah.
you can do that with watercress. You can do that with radishes. You
They're
can
really
even do
good.
it with beets. Radishes are best sown directly in the soil in the garden during the garden season. You can grow them in containers, but they are quick to germinate, which means really good for kids. And all the seeds that I selected today are all quick to germinate. Beans are really good because what's good about a bean seed, they're big.
Yeah.
They have
So
big
Easy to
roots.
handle.
It's not going. You know what? We need more tape then. So what we'll do, how about here? I'll do a little bit of a patch job on the side over here too. Let's see if we can do that. We'll see if we can get it kind of closed up there. I don't know if that looks so pretty. What do you think? No? Do you want to go the other way? Because you are the boss for this, by the way. I am just your assistant. Okay, there we go. We're just going to do this. Do you guys have any other questions about plants? No?
Do you want to show everyone your project? And then I'm going to check in about a week or two and see if we have progress.
Okay, and then we can put another one right there, Belle.
I want
You
to see
put one right there,
pictures.
Here, I'll rip it for you. Here. and then you
'Cause
can
I'm
put it up and
bossy.
down.
I think we did an excellent job.
Okay, and we're going
I'm
to show your...
so excited.
There we go. And a reminder, let's say that you don't have jugs at home, you can do a milk carton, and you
Yeah.
can just cover it with saran wrap over the top. If you have, for instance, even just a milk carton itself, like a Tetra Pak, you
Right,
can use
right.
those. There's so many different things. The other thing too is then you can teach kids later on, even with eggs. You can crush eggshells up,
Yeah.
and you can use those in the garden.
It's like fertilizer, sort of.
Fertilizer
Yeah.
and as well. Anybody here ever seen snails? Yeah, so snails and slugs, they eat plants. So if you crush up eggshells and put it around the base of your plant, crawling insects won't come up and hurt your plants. So there are all these little things that kids, as soon as they get inspired and as soon as they start to touch and feel, they'll be right into it. And they're
Yeah.
future gardeners.
Totally.
Yeah, future stewards of the land.